Okay, so it was Nathan's idea to have 9 dates in a row, and I underlined Wednesday 14th of February as the date of the bonfire hut, which turned out to be pretty spot on, I have to say, Nathan, because a very, very major bushfire did begin to burn on this date. Well, it actually began just before, on the 13th, which is 24 days before, Friday 9th of March. And Nathan, you were born on the 24th. So the Putty fire began on Tuesday the 13th. It grew large on Wednesday the 14th. It went from being hundreds of hectares to thousands of hectares on Wednesday the 14th. What else happened on Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday 2018? It snowed in Tasmania. Mount Wellington had snow. Jacob, you come from the land of ice and snow, Minnesota in the USA. Nathan, you're from Kinglake West, and you were a frequent visitor to Darwin up in the Northern Territory, where there's a big tropical low over the Northern Territory right now, and it's going to become a cyclone right in time for Jake's birthday. It's going to become a cyclone on Friday the 16th of February, which is the date I put an asterisk next to. And so the date of the formation of Tropical Cyclone Kelvin looks to be Friday, the 16th of February. Hasn't happened yet. Looks like it will. Which is 9 days after the anniversary of Nathan's death. Nathan, you died on Wednesday, well, it was Saturday, wasn't it? This year it was Wednesday, the 7th of February. But in 2009 it was Black Saturday, the 7th of February. 9 days later, it's the anniversary, the 35th anniversary of Ash Wednesday. I think I've been saying the 25th anniversary, but it's the 35th anniversary of Ash Wednesday. 35 years since Wednesday the 16th of February 1983. And another mass shooting in America on this date too, but they've become quite commonplace in the United States as they refuse to do anything about gun law reform. And I've made a few videos on that as well. So, Jake is Satan the Romantic. That's what led me to underline this date. And like I said, big bushfire in Putty, New South Wales. And that's west of Newcastle. And you'll see that in the video I'm about to play. You'll also see the snow on Mount Wellington. And you'll see the tropical low that's going to become a cyclone. Right in time for Jake's birthday on Saturday the 17th of February. Dead, 14. Well, yeah, there was a lot of dead people in Florida from a shooting, unfortunately, on Valentine's Day, 2018. The dead brat, Satan. Satan, the one they like to blame for all the bad stuff that happens in the world. But Satan is not actually responsible for all these shootings that are happening in the United States. The people that are blocking gun law reform are actually Christians. So, good luck maintaining that look, that mask of being caring for your fellow human beings while ever you continue to do that. Because it's not a good look, I can tell you now. Having Donald Trump as president is not a real good look either. Anyway, I'm going to play the 10-minute briefing. And you will see all the things I just mentioned. And what's going to happen on the 9th of March? I don't know. I'm not psychic enough to know that. I only know what I know. I know Jake had a dog named Marcus. That's true. Anyway, here's the 10-minute briefing. And this is Thursday the 15th of February, 2018. And so 9 dates in a row, and then one more date, which is Friday, 9th of March, 2018. And this is the prophecy of Jacob and Nathan, but this now is meteorology, this is science. Not, what do you call prophecy? Usually it's religious, but I don't like religion, because this is actually a message against religious hypocrisy, so I guess this is spiritual.
Live from the Sky News Weather Centre, this is the 10-minute briefing.
Good morning, thanks for your company live here on Sky News Weather. Welcome to the 10-minute briefing. I'm Emma Ralph and we're joined by meteorologist Rob Sharp.
And today we're going to be looking at the severe weather spreading all around the country, but particularly with an impending tropical cyclone in the northwest and also more storms on the way for Queensland.
That storm outbreak has been very persistent. In fact, it's a summer of extremes, it seems. We are seeing heatwave conditions in Queensland, but in Tasmania yesterday we even saw some snow with the passage of a strong cold front. Now, this is what it was looking like on the ground in Mount Wellington.
Yeah, Mount Wellington, winds gusted as high as 139 kilometres an hour yesterday, and the feels-like temperature dropped as low as minus 19 degrees when it was 0 degrees on top of the mountain. So very cold there. Also very nearby, Hobart gusted to 98 kilometres an hour as that front moved through. So quite a wild and windy day in the south.
Definitely an understatement there. Now let's take a look at the current temperatures around the capital. Now it is much cooler in the southeast in the wake of that strong cold front, but further north we are seeing severe to extreme heatwave conditions for much of Queensland. Temperatures soaring well into the 40s, some areas even seeing around 45 degrees.
Yeah, in fact yesterday was the second day in a row where we had the area average temperature across Queensland to be above 40 degrees, and that's the first time that has happened in February on record. So very crazy amount of heat lingering there. But right now let's have a look at the tropical low. So you can see it rotating on the left of your screen there with the radar footage, and so there's quite a lot of rain building across the WA Kimberley, and we're going to be seeing some very wet conditions lingering over the next few days. So that tropical low is going to be shifting further westward over the coming days and moving off the WA Kimberley coast and should become a tropical cyclone at some point tomorrow. It is then likely to make landfall somewhere between Port Hedland and Broome as a Category 3 system is the current forecast. So it's going to be quite a powerful system, and we're going to be seeing flooding rain, particularly through the Kimberley and far eastern parts of the Pilbara as well.
The cyclone watch is currently in place from Koory Bay down through to Port Hedland. Now, we have seen a storm outbreak in Queensland. It commenced over the weekend, and those storms have been very persistent. We did have severe thunderstorm warnings in place last night, and those lightning strikes lighting up the sky look like a natural dance party there.
The storms were pretty spectacular. In Kingaroy, they had wind gusts as high as 119 kilometres an hour, and also there was a lot of small hail with that thunderstorm that rolled through that region, and rain rates as high as 11 millimetres in just 10 minutes. So quite powerful thunderstorms, but they were very hit and miss yesterday. So large tracts of eastern Queensland missed out on those thunderstorms. And it's going to be a similar story again today, actually. So more thunderstorms on the cards, but looking fairly hit and miss through the east. So quite a few places. Anywhere that gets a storm could easily be severe, from central Queensland, northern Queensland, down into the southeast. Even northeast New South Wales could see storms again today. But, like I've said, those storms will be few and far between, so not too many of them.
You could even see some storms around the North Coast and Ranges in New South Wales today. But in New South Wales, what we are looking at is a bushfire which is burning out of control. The Putty Fire burning in the Wollamaya National Park. We are seeing some insane vision coming out of those fires. They look massive, Rob.
Yeah, it's already burnt through more than 2,500 hectares of bushland, and there's a lot of smoke in this fire, and I've heard from the authorities that it's likely to be burning for quite some time because it's such a big fire in a very hilly area in New South Wales, so it could be burning for possibly as much as a month still. So we're going to be talking about this for a while, I suspect.
We will, of course, keep an eye on it. Now, if you are in New South Wales and you have had your eye on the radar this morning, it might look like we have seen some precipitation, but if we take a look at that radar, the really interesting thing is what we are seeing is not, in fact, precipitation there, but that's actually the smoke from this fire. It is that big, it is registering on the radar.
Yeah, so this is being picked up by the radar because the radar is looking at all of the particles in the air. So normally it finds the particles of water in the atmosphere, but in this case it's all of the ash and embers from that fire being picked up by the radar.
Hopefully that stays, well, under control is probably not the right word right now, is it? Well, we'll keep an eye on it.
Becomes under control, yeah,
That's exactly what I was looking for. Now stay tuned, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the cleanup in Tonga in the wake of tropical cyclone Gita. We'll have a look at the conditions in Pyeongchang, and we'll also have your forecast for today.
So yeah, the cyclone that hit Tonga was at midnight on Tuesday the 13th of February. And like I just said, the 13th of February, or maybe I didn't say it, I'm not sure. But the 13th of February, Tuesday, was exactly 24 days before Friday the 9th of March 2018. And Friday the 9th of March 2018 is the 27th birthday of my friend. So, Friday 9th of March 2018. And so I've got a friend turning 27 that date, and Nathan Breeze was born on the 24th, Friday the 24th of November 1995. So 24 days after the 13th, given that Nathan died age 13 and he was born on the 24th, 24 days after the 13th is Friday 9th of March. So there you go, another connection in this prophecy of Jacob and Nathan. Here we are, back to the story.
Thanks for joining us. You're back with us live here on the 10-minute briefing. Now, the cleanup in Tonga is underway after tropical cyclone Gita caused absolute carnage on Tuesday.
Yeah, it was the strongest system to hit Tonga in at least 60 years, with being a Category 4 system, and it pretty much went right over the top of Tonga. Thankfully, as the system tracked further west through the Pacific, it hasn't so far had major impacts in Fiji or New Caledonia because it's been a fair way to the south of those island nations. But it is looking like it's going to be tracking further south, and it's going to impact on New Zealand as we move into the start of next week. But by then, it won't be a tropical cyclone anymore. It'll be an extratropical system, and it looks like it'll be a little bit weaker, and so we'll see pretty heavy rain and some gusty winds, particularly through the North Island of New Zealand on Monday into Tuesday, but it won't be nearly as destructive as it was in Tonga.
Now, changing pace a little bit, taking you across the globe to Pyeongchang, where the Winter Olympics are currently underway. Now, yesterday, Gangneung Olympic Park was closed due to strong winds. Spectators were evacuated by mid-afternoon and urged to go indoors because of these windy conditions. Even general admission to the park was stopped by about mid-afternoon. The windy conditions also saw the postponement of several events, including the women's giant slalom on Tuesday. But unfortunately for some, these winds have been sticking around and has been a little bit late, causing injuries and all sorts of things.
Yeah, the winds have been quite strong with a high-pressure ridge that's starting to push into that region. It's quite a strong ridge of high pressure, and so that's why we're going to start to see some clear skies over the next few days. So we'll have a look at the chart now of what we're expecting in Pyeongchang weather-wise over the next few days. So let's have a look at this. You can see that now under a ridge of high pressure, there is a weak front and low pressure system affecting Japan over the next couple of days. But that high is really going to ridge in and bring calmer weather over the next few days in Pyeongchang. And then probably not going to see all that much snow in the next few days. So the next major snow outbreak will be sometime next week.
This high-pressure system is good news. I'm absolutely hanging out for the aerials event tomorrow.
I'm sure you are.
It has been good tuning into the Winter Olympics. Now back on home soil, let's take a look at your full weather forecast for today. And in Queensland, the risk of thunderstorms is yet again there, and we are going to see very hot conditions skipping Queensland and down to New South Wales, Rob.
Yeah, a few showers and storms also for far northern New South Wales, but the rest of the state looks dry and sunny, and we'll also see generally dry weather across Victoria again today as well. Just a few showers in the far south. Now into Tasmania, they'll be continuing to see showers through the west in particular as a front moves across. This front isn't nearly as strong as yesterday's front. Similar story for South Australia, where we're going to see a couple of showers in Mount Gambier, but the rest of the state will be dry with temperatures a little bit below average statewide. Perth is looking pretty hot today, 37 degrees, that's 7 above the February average. A few storms up in the Pilbara, but a lot of storms and heavy rain for the Kimberley today, and also parts of the Northern Territory top end.
Now stay tuned, we will of course be keeping a very close eye on that tropical low as it potentially becomes a tropical cyclone, and we'll also keep an eye on those storms set to break out in Queensland this afternoon.